Today they're going to do this: squat, deadlift, trap bar, bench press.
I have another alternative.
Yes, go.
I want to get your 2 cents on this. So 4 lifts, they're going to take about 30 to 40 minutes each, especially the lower body. It's going to take a little longer. That's about 2 hours of testing. Why don't we do 1 lower, 1 upper today, 1 lower, 1 upper tomorrow?
It's fine, I don't give a shit. It's
Great.
your time.
Oh, okay.
I don't really care. But I think that's...
Because there's so much nervous system,
be.
so much fatigue going through the body, so much...
Well, hold on. If you were to do this, right, let's say, listen, in an ideal world, what you'd do is exactly what he said. I'd go push, lower body push, upper body push. Lower body pull, upper body pull. Yeah. That's what I'd do, right? That's a perfect world. But we're in the private sector, we have time constraints. It is what it is. Understand you have limiting factors. That's what it is. So what Alex said has merit, 100%. Yes, because it's a squat, a deadlift, a bench press, neurally taxing. So by the time they get to the upper body stuff, they're going to be cooked. So
it takes a long time.
Their performance is going to be absolutely out the window. So I'm just going to show you guys how we best warm up. There's no right or wrong way of doing it. I've kind of used a bit of science, a bit of art, and how I've done it, and just through my years of experience, what's worked. So I had a guy test yesterday, and he improved. Coach, he went from 120, and he's come back from a full knee blowout.
Shout out to coach.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out to coach. So he's gone from 125 to 135. So you did quite well. I have a certain way of looking at it. Here's how I look at warming up. You need to do a normal warm up like you normally would. I'm talking about movement prep. SMR, tissue quality, mobility, ankles, hips, T-spine, activation, upper back, glutes. All right? Pretty fucking simple. Then after, the best way, remember always specificity. Adaptation is task specific, meaning how you train affects how you adapt. So if you want to get better at a squat, what do? You squat. If you want to get better at a bench press, what do? Bench press. But, yeah, so that's what you do. So we look at a warm-up. The best way to warm up for a certain exercise is do that exercise, right? So if you're warming up for a squat, a back squat, you want to do a back squat. So it's what I like to call in the nervous system greasing the groove, creating that motor pattern, strengthening that pattern. So the big thing about doing warm-up sets, especially when you're maxing out, which is very neurologically taxing, is you don't want to do too many reps. You want to keep the reps real. This is what I've worked out through my experiences, right? You want to do singles, right? So at the start, look, and this is wide open because I don't know what they're going to hit because I go on bar speed and experience. So I'll know where Cranach's 1RM is, I'll know where Alex's is quite quickly. And then I just work off that. That's just experience, coach's eye, right? So what I normally do is, this is just general. Remember, this is a general rule. Don't take this as gospel, like guidelines for hypertrophy strength power. These are general guidelines. Don't take this as gospel. This is what's worked for me, right? So how I do it would be something like this. 1 set at 4 reps, that'd be light. 1 set at 2 reps, pick it up again, and then we hit singles all the way through until we test our 1RM. Now, the reason why I do this is because I like to keep, the whole idea is you want that high intense stimulus on the central nervous system without fatiguing, because if you're hitting more, I would say than 3 to 4, 5 reps, you're going to start to accumulate what we call accumulated fatigue, which is a terrible thing when you want to test. Because remember, when you're testing, and when we're truly testing, that is a true indication of their max force output. So if you look at the force velocity curve, that is a true indication of their max force output during that specific skill of that lift. So when you're looking at it, 1RM is very, very taxing on the nervous system. So you want to keep, the whole idea with the warm-up is you want to stimulate that muscle group, motor pattern, timing, coordination of the lift, but also stimulate the central nervous system. So I call it stimulate without annihilating it. The issue what a lot of guys do is they do too many reps, and by the time they hit they're trying to test their 1RM, they're fucking fatigued, regardless of how long you give rest periods. So as you get closer to your 1RM, you want to give longer rest periods, okay? Obviously early on you can give them shorter because of time constraints, but before my guys test their 1RM, I give them 6 minutes rest. Because the true, especially 1RM, if you're going sub-maximal testing, have a look at G-Wood over there. Go film G-Wood. Fucking shit, no. Come on, G-Wood, come on. Yeah. Oh, fuck, that was fucking terrible. Don't film that, Alex. Take that one. It's a true show of force generating capacity. When we talk about force generating, maximum force generating capacity over a prolonged period of time. Because we know with heavy weights, rate of force development is not going to be heavy because the heavy external load is slower the bar speed. So we're looking for max force. So that's a true 1RM. Now, I will say this, depending if you know where you're close to with your 1RM, the heavier the warm up, the heavier the work set, or the heavier the 1RM you know you're going to be, the more work sets needed, if you know what I mean. So if you're a higher trained individual, neurologically you can recruit at a higher level, not only just a skill, but also the motor units you can recruit. So you can recruit a higher motor neuron pool. So you're going to tax your nervous system a lot more. You're going to have to give yourself a lot more recovery. Compared to someone who's a novice, like let's say a Brett Cranage or an Alex, you don't need to give them much recovery. I hope this gives you a general overview of how you guys can best prepare yourself for a true 1RM test. Now, listen, for everyone out there, you don't really need to 1RM people. You probably can 3, 5, which we call sub-max, and then you can actually correlate their 3 to 5 to 1RM. I'm doing this because sometimes my guys like doing it, but you don't need to. They're not strength sport athletes, and you can actually get correlation off their power and speed because we know strength facilitates that. So hopefully it gives you that general overview, and Dad's kind of hurrying me up there. So there we go.